All right, all right. Hey, if you are with me, you can hit me up in the chat room. Just let me know that we're all in sync. That we got volume working, we got people working, we got things working, we got the channel working. Oh my goodness! For those who did not know, we've been gone for about a good, like a month. We did a little something last week, but on the new channel, long story, we were out of pocket. Hey, what's going on, Christian? Hey, thank you. Glad to be back. Glad to get out here and talk. Do what we do over here, which is help men have better sexual health, better erections, better life. All that good stuff by giving the real truth in terms of what your health needs, not just some more magical pills. We don't do magical pills over here. We do lifestyle. We look at the way that we're living, how we can improve that so we get the real results. Hold on a sec for me. All right, just want to make sure that things didn't fall out of place. What's going on, Chris? Love it, love it, love it. Big brother in life. Appreciate you guys being on. Hey, today we're going to talk about something really special. Oh, and by the way, my name is Brian, aka Uncle B, and for the last 21 years, I've been the men's performance coach with African Fly, the liquid aphrodisiac. And it's what we do around here. You know, we want to make sure that you get information that you can put into your life that's just going to make sense. You know, nothing crazy. Life is pretty simple. Sometimes, you know, we humans, we complicate the heck out of stuff. So one of the things we do complicate is just living, just doing the things that we're supposed to do. One of those things is sleep. And I know, you know, for a lot of guys, it's like, oh, sleep, man. What you going to tell me about sleep, man? I just close my eyes and then, you know, I'll wake back up. Well, if you don't do it correctly, you can do some things that are wrong for your life, especially over long term. And it's serious. I'm talking about all the way down to the DNA level. I've talked about this before, brought up how, you know, how important sleep was before, but we have, it's what I do. It's new research. And today we're going to talk about what can happen if you don't get that sleep. We're talking about everything from smaller testicles, smaller balls to lower testosterone. All of that is, you know, we want to make sure that, you know, we living right. Hey, what's going on, Yankee? How should African Fly work? Do you eat with it? Okay, I'll make sure to get into that just a little bit later. Hold on for me. That's Ty asking that question. What's going on, Larry? Yes. Back in the house. Appreciate being back in the house with you guys. So let's go ahead and keep rocking and rolling. So when we're talking about sleep, and definitely I will get to everyone's questions. Keep on putting them in the chat. You know, we'll get there. I'm going to break down how sleep is the most underrated activity that you do. Most people just never think about it. And specifically, I'm going to talk about how sleep can aid you. It can give you lack of sleep. Lack of sleep can aid you, give you cancer, lower your testosterone, make you dumber. If you have cravings, it just throws your body completely out of whack. You know, that whole thing we always tell the kids to go to sleep, get your sleep because you're cranky in the morning and all sorts of kind of stuff. That still applies to you. You were somebody's kid at one point. So yeah. And of course, stick around. Of course, I'm going to tell you how to get better sleep tonight. Some of the things that I've learned and put into practice. And I do want to give a shout out to everybody who was rocking with me on the other channel. If you missed out once again on what happened, we had that question. There's some conspiracy theories. They were basically our channel got hacked. Not a cute look. Not a cute look at all. The channel got hacked, and so YouTube took us off. And it has been like a battle, just going back and forth with them. You know, when you're dealing with a big faceless company, you're dealing with a faceless situation. So finally we are back up and on. And so I'm glad for that because there are a lot of videos. There are a lot of different comments that people were sharing about themselves. So if you're new to the channel, first of all, if you're here, go ahead and hit that like button, please. That helps out a lot. Hit the subscribe button, you know, so you can subscribe to the channel, get this, but make sure you're checking out the videos. One of the reasons why we keep doing this, we keep putting out videos, keep putting out the information, and people keep coming back to the channel. I appreciate everybody who keeps rocking with me. Is that because, you know, we've learned all the wrong things and now it's time to learn the right information, and you have to get it over and over again for it to sink into your mind and, you know, turn it into a lifestyle. And that's what we're doing here. So keep on going. Sleep, of course, we live in an artificial man-made world. We have lights. I have lights all around me. You got the computer screen, you got your phone, and we're constantly inundated with information. And that affects us because, just think about it. In the US, only half the United States population had had electricity until 1925. So there are people who literally all the way up into the 80s had no electricity in their homes. It's crazy. Before that, people were using oil lamps, kerosene lamps, different things, but they were dangerous. Along comes electricity and it changes humans. Now, how profound is this change? Well, think about this. Humans function off of light. We function off the sun and temperature. So when the sun is up, it's typically warmer. When the sun goes down, typically cooler. That's the way we've been pre-programmed. And that's very important. I'll show you why in a second. And before light was easily available, a lot of times people didn't just go to sleep one time. They didn't do the 8 hour sleep like we do now. If it got to 6 o'clock wherever you were and it got dark, you had like maybe 2 hours to move around before it was like, hey, basically it's lights out, just go to sleep. So, and if it's a long night, maybe you're waking up in the middle of the night, having sex, reading the Bible. There are actual Bible verses written for people in the middle of the night. And then you're like, off back to sleep, and then you wake up. So it's called second sleep. Most people don't even do that anymore, or even understand it, but it's a part of our background. And with electricity, things have changed to the point where 87%, it's a huge number, 87% of teenagers are sleep deprived. And that would explain a lot about what's going on in their test. And I'll explain that why. And for men, it's important because men, if you're only sleeping 5 hours a night, your testicles are going to be significantly smaller. Significantly smaller than guys who sleep 7 hours or more a night. And testosterone is largely formed in your testicles. So if you're this goes hand in hand. Of course, your testicles are going to be smaller and they're producing less testosterone. And so men who have only 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night, their testosterone levels are continuing to go down to the point that you could be, have the testosterone levels of a man 10 years older than you. So you want to get that sleep in. So basically, lack of sleep is going to age you. And a lot of people is like, I'm a sleep when I'm dead. I'm working, I'm grinding, and it's like, nah, that's not a good way to live. In fact, you're going to have a shorter lifespan because science. That's what scientists have been saying for a while, and it's just true. Even the World Health Organization has declared that if you're working the night shift, for my guys who are driving trucks, who are working, in the different stores, airport, wherever you're working, recognize that the World Health Organization said that is carcinogenic, as in you're missing your sleep patterns. And I'll talk about how your DNA is actually going to switch up overnight from helping you to causing cancer to form. And not only that, not getting enough sleep actually makes you dumb. For my guys who are like looking to figure out, why can't I do well on tests? Why can't I, what's going on? The crazy thing about it is that becoming less intelligent isn't something that you're aware of. It just happens. Becoming more intelligent is something that you're aware of. You're in your own body. It's a slow process, but yeah, it shows up. So the way this works is you need sleep to prepare your brain to take in information. Okay. So during the day, you're taking in information. Let's say you're studying a chapter in whatever book. You study that chapter, it goes into the short-term memory, sits in your brain. Then you go to sleep. While you're asleep, those sleep waves that you see in the different movies, everything like that. Yeah, when they're at their peak, they're actually forming connections in your brain. So you're actually connecting the things. It's moving the information that you just learned during the day. It's moving it from that temp file into long-term memory. That's how you get more intelligent. So if you're thinking like, hey, I studied all night, then I got 2 hours of sleep, then I got up and took the test. Well, it didn't connect. It was in your short-term memory, won't get into your long-term memory, and you'll just be way more tired also taking your test. So without sleep, you can't absorb new memories. During your sleep, your brain shifts the short-term memories that are stored in your hypothalamus. That's where that short-term memory sits into the long-term memory. So you making new memories without sleep. Making new memories without sleep leads to a 40% decline in memory on test scores. 40%. So for those teenagers, 87% of teenagers who are sleep deprived, the reason why they're not doing as well on their tests is because they're 40% dumber. So it applies to the kids, it applies to you too. Sleep, aging, and your immune system. And this is really important because, for a lot of guys, they're not really aware. It's like, hey, how does this work? In terms of sleep, does can you sleep and stay younger? Actually, the answer is yes. That's the crazy thing. Hey, what's up, Jarius? What's going on, Anthony? Got the African fly in the mail. Love it, love it. Hey, what's going on, Anthony? Lewis, what's going on, bro? So every disease of the elderly is attached to lack of sleep. Because as you get older, your ability to go into deep sleep declines. So it's better to get on this track in terms of getting good sleep, putting it to practice every day, so that as you get older, one, you're avoiding aging and the things that come with that, because it also increases your possibility of Alzheimer's. So, you sitting up, I'm staying up late at night watching, back to back Marvel movies, I'm killing it on Disney. And then the next morning, yeah, you're not going to feel as good. You're not going to, your skin isn't going to glow, all the great things that comes with getting that sleep. Every disease of the elderly is attached to the lack of deep sleep. With one night of 4 hours sleep, there is a 70% reduction in your immune system's capacity to kill cancer cells. 70% reduction. That's the reason why the World Health Organization said that about people who don't get that sleep, who work that night shift, that third shift. So the cancer cells that is missing out on are the bowel, the prostate, and breast cancer. Some of the worst cancers, some of the most prolific cancers in our society. Over 30% of the medical problems that doctors face stem from lack of sleep. You see how this is working out? And here's a crazy thing. Lack of sleep messes with your DNA. Compared to 8 hours of sleep, the same people with 6 hours of sleep saw a large drop in immune genes. So it's down to the cellular level. It's down to your genes. It's down to your DNA. So there's that increase in genes promoting. So your immune system genes are going down, and the genes, the DNA that's promoting tumors, chronic inflammation, and cardiovascular disease goes up. Now, obviously, if you have these different problems going on in your life, you're not having an erection, and that your erections are going to be off. And if you're having issues with weight loss, and a huge part of it can be that your lack of sleep, because of that chronic inflammation, your body isn't able to deal with what you fed it or deal with anything else. We are not designed to be sleep deprived. We're just not. We literally function off the sun. The sun says, take yourself to sleep. That's what we're supposed to do. Like, say different. Okay. So I hope you guys are getting this. I hope you guys are understanding how important this is. Juju. That's right. That's me. I worked on the night shift. Okay. We're going to talk about a couple of things that'll hopefully help you. Who but me said I went AWOL? Yeah. I was absent. Well, YouTube told me to leave. That's what. It's not without leave. They told me to leave. So. But I'm back. All right. So here goes some tips for better sleep. Sleep is non-negotiable. Sleep does not care about your feelings. Sleep doesn't care about what show you're watching, what argument you were in, anything like that. You need to get your regular scheduled sleep. This is more important than whatever else you could possibly do, because you need that sleep. Regular sleep time is king, even on weekends and holidays. Yeah. And this is because humans, we like patterns. The world is designed on patterns. Patterns just what we do. So you need to have that pattern consistent so you get regular sleep. And the thing to remember, like I said before, about we deal with the sun, that light, that heat that we get from the sun that wakes us up. The light from the sun wakes us up. When it gets dark and when it gets cool, that's when our bodies are pre-designed to go to sleep. Here's the problem. When most of us are going to sleep right now, what do we have on? We have the TV, we have some lights, we have lights coming in from lights outdoors. And so we're not getting full sleep. It's called your pineal gland. It's a gland that's right here in between your eyes, also commonly known as the third eye. Well, basically, it's a third eye from the standpoint of, how you can close your eyes and light is still coming through. The pineal gland is picking that up. So if you're trying to go to sleep with a lot of light around you, it's still able to detect that light. And so it's not allowing you to get into that deep sleep, getting to full sleep. So this is what I use. Boom, right here. It's a sleep mask. I have light that comes in from the outside, and using the sleep mask blocks it all out, helps you get a deeper sleep. In terms of keeping it cool, you want to keep it cool to signal to your body it's nighttime. So you want to set your thermostat to 65 degrees if possible. Just keep your room cool. Keep your room cool, and that's going to help. And for a lot of people, they're getting a memory foam mattresses. I have one, like it. However, it's what it does, it traps heat. And so it doesn't allow you to cool down the way that you should properly. So just recently, I actually got a cool mattress pad. Uh, so far, so good. Seems to be working. So, and definitely keeping the room cool makes a huge difference. A huge difference. And of course, the things that people always talk about, that alcohol, that weed, that yeah, that's going to make me go to sleep. Nah, it's not. And the caffeine is going to mess you up. So alcohol gets you in three ways. It's a sedative that turns off the brains. It turns off the brain cells firing, which means that it's not natural sleep. You just knocked yourself big. You knocked yourself out, including your sleep. You're not getting that good sleep. Also, your sleep is going to be fragmented because it's like, you have that fight or flight. You know how you get drunk, you want to fight somebody or run away just because you're drunk. Well, you're doing that in your sleep. So you're waking yourself up and going back to sleep and not recognizing it. And also, sleep and weed affects your REM sleep. So you're not getting that deep quality sleep, and you're not being as creative. So for those guys who are like, yeah, that great idea I came up with while I was smoking weed. I can't. It had something to do with a pink elephant. I can't remember what. Yeah. All those great ideas you had when you were smoking that weed and you can't remember it. Yeah, you ain't fall asleep. So ain't gonna work. Caffeine stays in your system for 10 to 12 hours and reduces your REM sleep. Highly important to understand for the guys who drink coffee. So if you drink coffee at 2 p.m. by 12 a.m., you're still you're still awake. It's going to be hard to fall asleep. It's going to be hard to stay asleep. So you want to watch that with the caffeine. That includes the sodas and the Mountain Dews and everything like that. So you shouldn't be drinking that stuff anyway. But hey, if you do, just be careful about how it affects your sleep. Okay. So let me go ahead and wrap this up really quick so I can get to your questions, guys. Sleep is by far the most underrated cure-all. By far. So you want to get it into your life. Men who sleep 4 to 5 hours a night routinely have testosterone levels of a man 10 years older. During your sleep, your brain shifts the short-term memory to the long-term memory through your hypothalamus. So yeah, get your sleep in so you can be smarter. You're not designed for sleep deprivation. So I'll be talking to my man Juju with that issue of not issue, but just dealing with it while you're truck driving and things like that, working that third shift. Regular sleep is king. Make sure you get that regular sleep. And really, it just comes down to this, guys. Just like with intermittent fasting, and you have to reprogram your body for timing for that pattern, it's just like a baby. When your baby gets home, what are they up at 4 a.m.? They crying whenever they want to. And over a period of time, you adjust their clock by not responding to them until it's time for them to function the way you want to. Doesn't always work the way that you want to, but still, there's that in terms of setting their food eating schedule and setting their sleeping schedule. The same thing applies to you. So a lot of times we mess it up by doing a whole bunch of other things like getting that alcohol, that weed, and that caffeine that messes up the sleep. So really quick, guys, just a question for you. Put it into the comment section. How many hours of sleep do you get? And is it enough for you? And are you one of those guys who you think you're getting good sleep and it doesn't show up? So somebody asked that in the comment section earlier. Oh, Brandon, but fasting causes insomnia in most cases. No, no. I'm not sure where you got most cases. I mean, it could. If you're stressed out about fasting, then yeah, the stress would, if you're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die, or there are a few people who their body is so off balance that if they don't eat every 2 hours or so, I've heard this before and I was like, this person's crazy, but no, that's science. It's, your body's just completely off balance. And maybe that's the reason why you would stay awake. But yeah, that shouldn't be it. All right. Look at it. Most guys are like 6. Oh man, that's 6 o'clock. Oh, Tai Quan Gong. I hope I'm saying your name like. Appreciate you, sir. Sleep set sleep timer for 30 minutes. So I want to address that really quick. I got you, Brooke. I'm gonna hit you up in a second. For those guys who are hitting the alarm, it's like your alarm clock is set for 6 o'clock. You hit the alarm, try to get another good hour, a half an hour sleep in. Don't do that. Just stop. It's actually worse for you. It may feel like it the first few times, but you need to have that pattern. If your pattern is to have something wake you up so you go back to sleep, you're now getting fragmented sleep. And so you're actually making the situation worse. You want to even for that what seems like a quick half an hour, you know how you do it and then you still want to go back to sleep. You're still hitting that alarm like, I could do this for like another 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, your body is not responding well to it. So you want to do that. Brandon's saying energy. Yeah, yeah. Fasting does give you energy, but there may be some other things involved if you end up with insomnia. That's a little bit extra, a little bit extra. Mhm. Okay. All right, let me go ahead and answer Juju right quick. Working the night shift. All right. If you are working the night shift, here are a couple of things that you should really understand. First of all, go ahead and get that sleep mask. Definitely get the sleep mask. They actually have what's known as blue light blockers. These are my blue light blockers. And what they do is they stop blue light from entering in. So all the electronic devices have blue light that when it gets into your eyes, it stimulates you. So right now, with all the lights I have around me, it's like I'm outside in the sun. So my body wouldn't recognize immediately, like, oh, it's time to go to sleep because we could turn the lights out like that, but the sun goes down slowly. So you want to get blue light blockers. There are a lot of different kinds that are coming out now, very popular. And even if you're having, whatever set time you have for your sleep, make sure you get your sleep. That's just the most important thing. You want to, you may be sleeping during the daytime, so you want to be cognizant of the temperature of the room. Um, and yeah. I know it's difficult to say this because I don't know your situation, but if possible, find another job where you're not staying up at night. So that is the preference. That's the preference. I understand that's not always a possibility. Uh-huh. Hmm. All right. Lamont says not enough, but it will start tonight. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. We should be wrapping up, we'll wrap up and then, go ahead, go straight to sleep. And that's actually something I'm doing because I am guilty of not sleeping well. Just running businesses, running just a whole bunch of things going through my mind. I have set it up so now it's like, it's like treat myself like I'm the daddy and the kid at the same time. It's like 10 o'clock, have your butt in bed. Period. No excuses. I like to like make sure my place is clean. I'm set up for tomorrow. All this other kind of stuff. It's like no, 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 no. You'll have the energy to do it tomorrow. Okay. Hmm. Let me see. And Brooklyn, I'll say. I got a neutral bullet blender. I got a quick question to ask. If I blend beetroots, mangoes, and ginger root all together, is that a healthy drink? Uh, yeah, yeah. I would say be careful with the mangoes if you're trying to do weight loss, because when you're, I guess with the NutriBullet, you still have some of the fiber in there, but you're breaking the fiber down, and so you want to fiber is very healthy for your body. Your body works optimally off of plant fiber. However, it's better, the less processed that you have, the better. So if you just eat the mango, boom, that's better. But yeah, beetroot is very powerful. I have a beetroot in my refrigerator right now, beetroot juice. And yeah, it increases your performance by 20%. So that is always good. Okay. Hmm. So yeah, some for my guys who are like, you know, in terms of going to sleep that 6 hours, just I always say, you want to look for things in your life that you can improve just that 1% for that one time. So if you're getting that 6 hours of sleep, just go ahead and try to get that 6:15, 6:30, 7 o'clock. Something that the more you take this information in, the more valuable it is to you, the more it's going to make sense in terms of what you need to do. Uh huh. Philly cheese. Can you talk about sexual transmutation? Actually, unfortunately, no, not very familiar with that. That's hmm, I'm sorry. Ah, yeah, we went dark there for a second. Okay, sorry about that. Uh, yeah. Not familiar with sexual transmutation. Familiar with weed. Weed is great at relaxing you to the point that you're that good for yourself. That's really what it does. So, um, yeah, be careful with that. When should one stop drinking water? Like how many hours before going to bed? I always end up going to the toilet. Um, Rule of thumb is like 3 hours. I mean, just make sure that you go before you go to sleep. Um, and it really depends on your age and certain other factors. But yeah. As I take a sip, but mm, as long as it's a sip. So some of the other things you should pay attention to in terms of your sleep before you go to sleep. If you have pet in the bedroom, that can pets hear something, they get up, they move around, that can disturb your sleep. As far as your electronics and everything like that, you don't want to be looking at your electronics right before you go to sleep. If you're going to do that on the phones, they have the blue light app that's going to take the blue light out of that. That'll help some. You can also, once again, go to the blue light blockers. I put these on for like a half an hour before I go to sleep. I avoid looking at electronics. If necessary, just read, meditate. And in fact, doing yoga, doing things that are stretching your body, because when you're asleep, you're still. And if you already have stiffness going on because whether or not you are exercising or not exercising, stiffness can set in. So you want to be as loose as possible. So make sure you're getting some stretches in, doing some yoga, that type of thing. Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's really this is all part of just tying stuff in together. So, we have a lot of guys who are like, they'll ask questions like, I get 7 hours of sleep, but I still wake up feeling tired. And it's really a question of, well, what is going on? Everything that we're doing, that we're talking about, is a pattern. So you probably have a pattern of doing something that's messing you up. You could be checking your email right before you go to sleep, which is sending, a different signal to your brain, which is like, okay, I have to think of this, I have to think of that, I have to think of this. If you even just go down and write down everything that you have, not everything, write down what's coming up the next day so you can get it out of your mind. That's great. Doing things like realizing, your bedroom is supposed to be for sleep. That's it. If you go into your bedroom and do other things, I don't even have a TV in my bedroom just because of that. If you're doing other things in your bed, then your brain is getting two different signals. It's like, well, I should be working, I should be on a laptop, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, and it's like, okay, now I want to turn all this stuff off and go to bed. All of that stuff was instant. We're not designed for instant. The sun goes down slow. So you're instantly, I'm just going to shut the laptop off and go to sleep. I'm going to turn the lights out, go to sleep. You need to take a process to take your time. So you get to the point where it's like, hey, I can just go to sleep. What's the greatest outcome? That you can just pick a time. If your time is 10 o'clock, you're always in bed at 10 o'clock, to the point that you go, as soon as you get in bed, you go to sleep, wake up 6 o'clock, entirely refreshed, better memory, better health, better all that stuff. So that's all important. Hmm. Um, Don Coolio asks, how important is vitamin D? Vitamin D is vitally important. It's one of the most important vitamins because that vitamin comes from the sun. So, one of the things, and that actually ties into sleep, because when it comes to your sleep, one of the other things that you can do as soon as you wake up, just go for a walk. Get into the sun, even if you're not walking in the sun. Get to a window, enjoy the sun coming up, because that's releasing melatonin. It's sort of preparing your body to go to sleep, because your body knows, it's like, oh, okay, well, the sun is up. Well, okay, that's let me know that, of course, at some point the sun is going down. Your body goes through an entire process when it comes to recognizing the sun. So, very valuable, very important. Great question, man. Appreciate it. Uh-huh. Uh, what do you think about binaural beats while you sleep? I love it. I love it. I go onto YouTube Music. put it onto my phone, set my phone way over there, and then I have some speakers that it plays through at night. I just keep it down low. Um, Someone recently told me about delta waves, and so I was checking those out. So that's helpful. The thing is to recognize is that you are it's an experiment. You're going to go to sleep every night, or at some point your entire life. In fact, if you decided I'm not going to sleep for 10 days straight, you would die. So yeah, you're going to have to go to sleep. So if you're going to sleep, go ahead and start doing some experiments in terms of, at some point I was taking like melatonin tincture. There are different teas that help you go to sleep. There's, different music, the binaural beats. Some people like, I like listen to nature sounds and everything like that. Hearing rain, things like that. So it's like figure out what it is for you. Some things are just basic, the timing of what time you go to sleep, getting your stretches in, things like that just makes it easier. Even taking showers. If you want to take a shower, try to make sure it's if it's a hot shower that relaxes you before you get out, go ahead, cool it down some so your body cools down. So when you're getting into bed, your body's cooler. It'll be able to go to sleep faster. Okay. Hmm. Yep. Yeah, I saw that die, and it was like at first I was like, "You're taking how much vitamin D? Woo, 5,000 BTUs. Okay, but you're in the UK. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I understand that. So, but yeah. That's good. That's good. That's going to help out. So, uh, so guys, just we're pretty quiet with the questions. We're not, bouncing like we always do, and that's okay. This is the first day back after being gone for a month. Some of the regulars I don't see in here, but it's good to see all of you. Period. Uh huh. What's going on, AT? What's going on, Tyrone Brooks? Yes, Jarius. All right. uh, yeah. So I want to make sure, once again, you guys, if you haven't had a chance, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We do this every week for a reason because the information is necessary. We have a lot of misinformation out there, all the way from, calories to whether or not we're omnivores and carnivores. I mean, it's just insane. The world is sort of set up so that we can fail. I've been doing research on one of the, and I've talked about this before, how they're saying by the year 2045, many men won't be fertile, won't be able to have babies. And, when we say this, a lot of it's different. So I phrase it differently. By the year 2045, a lot of women won't be able to have babies. That's when people start paying attention. Like, what? Well, yeah, if the men, we give life, if we are not giving life, then they're not able to birth that life. So it's really important that, we pay attention to this, not only for ourselves, but for other folks. Uh-huh. Young Snowden, is 8 hours good enough to build up testosterone? Yes, absolutely. In fact, if you're getting less than that, then there's a lot of bad repercussions. I mean, when I say less than that, I'm talking about 4 hours of sleep. You get that 4 hours of sleep, you're not developing your testosterone. In fact, if you're only getting 4 hours of sleep, you're starting out. So whenever you sleep, your body is developing your testosterone. So less than 4 hours of sleep, your body is going to start out at roughly 250 nanogram per deciliter of testosterone. Where if you went ahead and got that 8 hours of sleep, you're talking about you're starting out at 500 to 600 nanograms per deciliter. So and of course during the day your testosterone goes up if you're fasting. If you don't break your fast until much later, you're doing intermittent fasting. You don't have breakfast. Your testosterone keeps going up until you eat something. And so there we go. Mhm. Okay. Um, Jorge, what's going on? I know this is off topic. When you started to take African fly, was your testosterone levels low or average? When I started taking African fly, my testosterone levels were great because I was 25 and pretty much healthy. Was doing a whole bunch of experimenting with becoming a vegan and things like that. So yeah, it was great at 25. things pretty much stayed sort of the same. It was after 35 that things started changing up for me because, I wasn't living the ideal lifestyle. It was like I had this great supplement. I could just use this and I don't have to worry about it until my body was like, nah, dude, you're on a downward spiral. On a downward spiral, you don't just take one thing and think that's going to fix stuff. So my testosterone levels have, once about a good 3 years ago when I started switching up everything, my testosterone levels started going up. I remember getting my testosterone levels at 350 and then making a bunch of changes. It went up to 500. Now I'm over 600, and I'm looking to, and a lot of that right now, like I just had a physical. All my blood work is great. Cholesterol actually went down and everything like that. Blood pressure, all this stuff is wonderful. It's just other things that you have to keep on doing. Part of that is getting good sleep. So there we go. There we go. Hopefully that answered you, Jorge. You say, Herbert, what's going on, Herb? You say alcohol is bad for your body, even alcohol in African flower, or is it how much you put in your body? Yeah, well, it's definitely a difference. You're only putting a teaspoon of African flower in your body. However, as I always say, African fly, you want to take that first thing in the morning, early afternoon, early evening. You want to take it early evening because it is a stimulant. So it's not just the alcohol in there. The herbs that are in there stimulate your body. So that's going to keep you awake unless you have sex or you get some exercise in or something like that. So it's not enough alcohol in there to cause the you to get in any way in alcohol, any impairment. So you're fine. You're fine. Thanks, Tyrone. Yeah. People, hit that like button. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. How long does it take for years of coffee drinking to get out of your system totally? Um, well, coffee in and of itself, once you drink a cup, it has a half life of 5 to 6 hours, which means the full life is 10 to 12 hours. So if you've been doing it for a long period of time, there are two things that you just need to be aware of. The first just being that it's had other effects on your body. So it's going to take your body a little bit of time to repair from that. And also in terms of your gut, you're drinking something, your body, the way your body deals with it is in your gut. So it's going to, you've been sending down the signal to like grow a population of fungi that's going to deal with coffee and everything that comes along with coffee. So it's going to take a little bit of time. It's not terrible. It also depends on other things you're doing. If you're like, oh, you know what, I'm not going to drink coffee, I'll just drink Jack Daniels. You're going to run into, well, now that you got a coffee problem and Jack Daniels problem. So yeah, the healthier you are, the better it is. Mm-hmm. Okay, bunch of questions. All right. Yeah, Jorge, second time back. Young, isn't meat bad for the male body? Yes. We are not carnivores or omnivores. Carnivores eat animals alive. We cannot do that. So, despite what your doctor says. So, basically, when it comes down to what we eat dead stuff. We have to kill the animal, do a high level of processing so that we can eat it while it's dead. So carnivores are getting energy from the animal, the blood and everything like that. We're just getting, we're energy units, and you put death into an energy unit. Now, mind you, especially as a male, we give life. That whole thing that comes out during sex, yeah, that's life. So if you're an energy unit and you're sticking death into it, then of course you're lowering your possibility of giving life. Okay. Hopefully that answer your question. Ty, how does African flower work? Like Viagra? No. Oh, no. Viagra works by killing a chemical in your body that takes the blood, stops the blood from leaving out of the penis. So it fixes the symptom, but it doesn't fix the cause. African fly helps fix the cause. The cause of erectile dysfunction, I mean, it's a bunch of different things that can happen, but the two main causes are blood flow and testosterone. So the bursting and burning of testosterone fuels an erection. And what happens, so for example, if you run, the amount of blood that goes into your heart is fivefold. So it'll increase 5 times the amount. When you need an erection, the blood that needs to go into your penis has to be 100-fold. Yeah. Yeah. When you don't have an erection, it's just drops of blood going in there. Or when you have an erection, it's like 100-fold. So yeah, it's a lot that's going on down there. So what African fly does increases that testosterone and allows that blood flow to go in. Of course, you have to do all the other things to assist with that project. African fly is a supplement. It is meant to supplement the other things that you're doing. We're talking about the other things you're supposed to be doing. All right. Rodney, Rodney Dasher. I cut out beer, all meats. I work out 3 days. I do blending vegetables, getting sleep now, and I see the difference in bed. Yes, sir. Sir, I appreciate that. I appreciate testimonial because this stuff does work, guys. It does. It's not what I'm saying is not actual rocket science at all. We do find some rocket science to just throw in there, but it's like your mother has told you what you need to do in order to have a healthy erection without telling you, because obviously she wouldn't do that. But it's like you need the energy from food, not just eating dead food. The stuff designed to stay on the shelves for a long time. You need the energy from the food. You need your sleep, and you need that exercise. So, like she said, go to bed on time, eat your fruits and vegetables, and go outside and play. Boom, mama handle it. All right. Mm-hmm. Christian, Mr. Barry. Now, what if your sleep is choppy, like 4 hours here and there? Um, well, once again, you need to figure out what that pattern is that is causing that to happen. So, is it something that you're doing during the day? Some people work in situations where you don't get sunlight, so your body can't tell what's going on. Uh, are you going to bed overstimulated, as in you got lights going on, you have your phone, you're looking at your phone, you're arguing with somebody, you're checking your text messages, all these things that won't allow your body to relax? Um, are you getting disturbed in the middle of the night because you have to get up and go to the bathroom? So you want to avoid drinking like 3 hours before you go to sleep. You want to make sure you go to the bathroom before you go to sleep. So those type of things can uh, if your sleep is like that, then of course it's going to affect it, because your testosterone and all the other great things happen when you're in your deep sleep. So you want to get deep sleep, and if your sleep is choppy, then mm, obviously it's not deep. Uh-huh. All right, Jorge. Bet my doctor said my levels are fine and healthy. So I'm at 500, good number, and change. So trying to build up more. Yep. Good, good, good. Love that. The more testosterone you have, the further you go to sexual performance scale. So, you can have more fun. So keep that up. Brandon, what do you think about the meatless products like Garden and Beyond Meats? All right. So one of the issues with that is, let me see. One of the issues with that is that it's still processed food. So it's plant processed food, but it's still processed food. So they add in a lot of different things to get that to imitate meat. And so the whole idea, you have to go with the whole idea, is that you need to get off of eating dead stuff. So you're moving away from eating dead animals to eating dead plants because it's been processed. So that's fine. That's much better. But ultimately, you should be just eating the plants. So we've done this thing with our planet, with our thought processes, in thinking that what we can make stuff better than what just grows out of the earth. So you think about it. You're living in the city. How many classes did you take on how to grow food? Isn't that like the most important thing? So we've been set up. It's a good setup. They worked on our parents and everything. Okay. All right. Hope that answered your question. Uh, Ty, back at you, man. Can African fly be used with vitamins and pills? Uh, yeah, it just depends on what they are and what you're doing. So, you want to make sure whenever you're taking something, you want to just sort of test and see what it's doing. So you don't want to do what we call GNC binges, where you just, go to GNC, grab some stuff, and just start popping it. Let's see what happens. Like, yeah, your body isn't designed to function that way in terms of just taking in a lot of things. It's like, why are you doing it? And even I say with African fly, Just being straight up. With African Fly, our goal is for you to stop taking African Fly. It can help you move up the sexual performance scale. It can be interim, but it's a supplement. It's supposed to supplement the other things you're doing so you get to the point where you're not using it anymore. Now, if you want me to be a drug dealer, uh, I could go straight up there, act just like a doctor and say, hey, I gave you this pill. Oh, it's not working? Well, shoot, take this other pill too and pay me double. Oh, that's not working? I have another pill. You want that too? Yeah, they be getting down like that. So yeah, you want to get off the pills. Mm-hmm. Interesting question, Don. What are the pros to black seed oil? I take a teaspoon every morning. Really, the question is, what's happening in terms of you seeing any type of result? So, I mean, the thing about being healthy is that you don't notice it. I had to explain to someone about taking African Fly is that I've talked to many guys who are like, well, I took it and then it's like, well, did it work? Um, yeah, I guess it did. And it's like you don't think about it because as you become healthier, you don't pay attention to it. You know, for guys who've gone through the process of losing a lot of weight, all of a sudden you're getting off the couch faster. You don't pay attention to it. You drop that 30 pounds, and before when you got to do that thing where you're reaching and feeling and trying to make sure you don't fall over as you stand up, and you just get to the point where you just pop up. Yeah. So if you're taking black seed oil or anything else, pay attention to what you're feeling. If it's good for you, keep going. Um, you know, but ultimately you should be getting all your nutrition from regular foods. But hey, I have no problem with black seed oil. It's great. Uh, is sea moss still effective if you blend it with oats, fruits, and almond milk? Um, yeah, yeah. As long as it's getting into your system, as long as you're not doing too much altering to it. So I get the sea moss gel. Um, I'm not sure how that would taste. Hey, let me know how that tastes. Is that good? Hmm. Oh yeah. Peterson, African fly with beet juice helps give me a lot of energy. Great energy. Yeah, I did that today. So I have the African fly mixed with the beet juice and also the sea moss. That's a ton of healthiness right there. Uh, if I take African fly for the rest of my life, will it have a negative effect on my sex life? Corey asked that question. That would be a no. I've been taking African fly since yeah, it's 2020. Yeah, yeah. A long time. A very long time. I've taken more African fly than anybody on the planet. Just healthy. Once again, it isn't just the African fly. You have to do the other things too. But in terms of having a negative side effect, we call African fly a testosterone salad. It's like eating a salad. It's never a point where it's like, oh no, you should stop eating salads. You should stop eating apples. No, you'll be fine. It's designed for you. It is designed for you. Great question, though. Appreciate that. All right. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anybody. I think I did. Right. All right. Young. All right. Biggest foods to stay away from to keep testes going up. All right. The biggest foods to stay away from. Well, definitely the meats. Well, basically all dead food. I know that's covering a lot of ground. So it's like, yeah, that's Doritos to anything in a package. So, and I understand, we live in a real world too, just going through it is difficult to make that transition when you don't have a whole bunch of other people doing it along with you. But when it comes to which foods you should eat, is always in terms of increasing your health. Of course, it's going to be energy. I mean, just think about this though. We are now in a world where it's not just us. It's not just me. It's everyone has been fed this information that you have to eat in a certain way that's unnatural, or sleep or live in a certain way that's unnatural. And it is done by design. We can call it conspiracy theories or not, but it's like, well, here it is. They've known for years that meat causes cancer and everything. So if you go look at different movies like What the Health or Game Changers, and they have interviews with people from the American Heart Association, which is sponsored by the meat industry. And the person, and this is always the weird thing, they'll do, well, I'm the professor or I'm the doctor, whatever, and I haven't read the studies. Then you are horrible at your job. You're supposed to know these type of things. How are you just going to sit there and say, you know what? A study was done by the World Health Organization. Well, I haven't had time to read that. So then you're not good with your job. So I don't want to listen to you anymore. So it's insane how that works. Insane. But yeah, in terms of the food that you should eat, we get a lot of the wrong messaging. They talk in the movies about how the government is complicit in doing this because everybody wins when you're sick. I mean, think about it. As a human, you can go outside, find a patch of dirt, coordinate with some other humans, and grow your own food. Whenever we talk about people being in a food desert? It's like, no. If you're in an actual desert, that's a food desert. If you're like, oh, well, it's just liquor stores, it's like, okay, liquor stores and all these different things. There's still grass somewhere. Remove the grass, plant some food. There you go. All right. Let me get off my high horse on that one. uh huh. Yeah, forks over knives. Yeah, that's a great one too. Thanks, Larry. Everybody check that one out. Moringa. Yep. I got some moringa tea in there. Yeah, moringa is good. And guys, obviously I talk about African fly. We're actually coming out with other herbs, and we're vetting to make sure we get the highest quality of stuff so we can get it to you. But there are a lot of herbs out there. There's a lot of herbs, so feel free to you want to test, you want to experiment, because the way that I look at things, I drink tea in the morning, drink hot tea in the morning. Right now I'm drinking ashwagandha tea. I make sun brewed tea. And my goal though is to constantly be putting energy into my body, because for years I was constantly putting crap, putting dead stuff into my body. So it's like, okay, it's now time to put everything back into balance. So keep going for it, keep adding stuff. Uh, Luis, is that the same with salmon and fish or just red meat? It is the same with everything that was once alive and now it's dead. When I say alive, plants are alive when you're eating them, but they're alive in terms of getting out energy. But if it had blood and the blood stops moving, it's dead. Yeah, yeah. And the reason why that's very important, because it doesn't make a difference what you're eating. It can make a difference in terms of like what your body is used to and et cetera, et cetera. But in terms of what that death is going to do inside of your body, it's do the exact same thing outside of your body. It's going to decay. It's decaying all the time. It doesn't take long to decay. If you happen to come across a dead anything, what's within, I think, the first 2 to 3 minutes, rigor mortis. So blood stops moving, the carcass, whatever it is, stops moving, becomes stiff, and within a few short hours, smells of high heaven. Within a few short days, doesn't look the same at all. So we just happen to be in a world that was like, hey, we figured out how to kill a whole bunch of animals at the same time, package them, freeze them, transport them, put them over here. So the animal died like 10 days ago, hopefully, and you get it in the store and you stick it in your freezer for the next 10 days and then you eat it, even while it's frozen. You've seen this. You take that red stuff, that red package of hamburger meat, stick it in your freezer, in the back of the freezer, and for, whatever period of time, you go back to it. It's no longer red, it's brown. You come back later, it's gray. Yeah, it's still decaying. So it's going to decay inside your body. Uh-huh. All right. Moonshine. Hey, Moonshine. Hey, your name. I love it, man. I'm having problems sleeping through the night. I have to go to bed late to sleep to 6 a.m. I wake up feeling tired and know my testosterone is taking a beating. Yep. Mm-hmm. And can I add a little honey to my teas? All right. Let me answer the first one. Let's see. I have to go to bed late and to sleep to 6 a.m. All right. Do you have to go to bed late, or you're just going to bed late? So what's going on there? I mean, I'm assuming that's an option. You're just choosing to go to bed late. So the obvious answer is to choose to go to bed early. So you have to, once again, you have to be on time with it every day, all the time. You're just like a parent programming your child to wake up at a certain time, to go to sleep at a certain time so you can live your life. Same thing applies to you. It has to be consistent over a period of time. So to the point where it's like, if you put it into your mind, no matter what, at 10 p.m., I'm in the bed. I blacked out there. At 10 p.m., I'm in the bed. So once you do that, you're going to be good in terms of being able to go to sleep at 10 p.m. because you set your timer, your internal timer, and so you'll be able to wake up. So as far as honey in your tea, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're dealing with if you're trying to drop weight, that's not the greatest thing. Just want to tap it down. Whenever I drink teas, I don't add or coffee. And I rarely drink coffee, but if I'm drinking them, I don't add sugar to it. That's just me. Uh, but yeah, yeah, a little honey. If that encourages you to try more teas, that's a good thing. Uh huh. Uh huh. All right. Who is it? I was into bodybuilding. Okay. And protein is always a necessity. A Presbyterian. Love that word. And I think you just switched me over, downloading forks over knives. Good. Love it. Love it. And one thing that, we have to be careful with in terms of the way that we're marketed health stuff is that they keep on identifying stuff and saying, "Oh, you need this." So you notice that you need B12, you need vitamin D, you need vitamin C, you need protein, you need carbs, you need this, you need that. We know all types of science stuff. Some people go to the hospital and they become experts at their illness and know every drug and how it affects this, that, and they don't get better. It's insane. So you think about it, 100 years ago, people were actually healthier in the right situation. People were actually healthier because they had healthier foods. One, two, they weren't eating meat daily because no time in history could humans eat meat daily. You had to be very wealthy in order to do something like that. And even then, you wouldn't do it because people were like, well, we don't have enough animals for you. Factory farming is new. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. Corey, how long does sea moss last in the refrigerator after purchase? It does tend to go pretty quick. So I've gotten bigger jars. Now I'm back to getting the smaller jars of that. Cream with coffee. Uh, that's just a lot of sugar. You want to be very careful with sugar. Sugar ages you. So if you're doing it, if you're drinking coffee a lot, no, just move slowly, cut that back. Plus, whenever people talk about the good effects of coffee, when you add sugar, the bad effects show up. So I know people that drink coffee and they add so much creamer and everything like that that it's just packing on weight on them. Uh, it also, you're taking something that makes you hyper, coffee, and then you add something that makes you hyper, sugar, and you're going to get that sugar crash. So I just took something that's jacking my system up, then jacking it back down, and that's causing all types of craziness with you. Hmm. All right, cool. Moonshine. No, if I go to bed early, I wake up like 3, 4 a.m. and can't fall back to sleep. Okay. So if I go to bed later, then I will sleep through the night. By the way, honey is the only sugar I consume separate from fruits. Okay, got you. So yeah, I understand what you're doing there. Um, so yeah, once again, just go ahead and look at I've done 2 videos, maybe 3 videos on sleep. So, and I've keep adding information to them. So go back and just search my channel for sleep, and there will be some other things that you could look at doing. So once again, is somehow something in a pattern that I would assume, unless you have an actual medical issue, there's something in the pattern of things that you're doing. So for me, whenever I'm stressed, that happens, where I'll wake up way early. So, I try to do things to de-stress myself. Uh, Not the classic ones, not the weed and alcohol, but try to meditate at the very least. Write down Talk about what you're grateful for. Just go to bed thinking about what you're grateful for. I'm grateful that I can go to sleep right now. I'm grateful that I have a bed to be in. I'm grateful, whatever it is, that's calming your body, is calling in things to help you go to sleep. So hopefully that help. Almond milk. Yep, almond milk is much better than the cow. Thanks, Ty. Uh-huh. Thanks, Moonshine. Appreciate you, sir. Meditates, music. Yes. Yes. That is very true. Let me go back and make sure I got everybody. hmm Yeah, we roll it up on 10 o'clock. Time for people to go sleep. If you got any questions, go ahead and throw it into the chat section real quick. I'll make sure I got everybody. Looks like. Yeah. Um, Once again, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to have you guys still rocking with me. We want to keep on getting this information out. Please not only subscribe, not only hit the like button, but share this with other guys. Like I said before, this is serious. I mean, it's sort of scary because I see it in terms of talking with guys, talking with younger guys, in terms of saying that, hey, if we don't grab a hold of this infertility thing, um, 2045 is 25 years from now. 24 years from now. So that's when they're saying that a large majority of men are going to be infertile. So grandchildren, if you want to have grandchildren, whether you have a daughter or a son, it's going to take, you got to have the sex going on. And if the men aren't functioning correctly, and, there is the women aren't going to be functioning too because they're going through the same process. It's just that it doesn't show up with them. They don't have an indicator stick in front of them like we do that indicates your health, your lifestyle. So, yep. Oh yeah, Young's African Fly is not on Amazon. Oh Lord. When we talk about issues, we've been going through the ringer. So Amazon is we're no longer on Amazon due to we're not sure. Truthfully, we're not sure. They're making changes in their regulations towards dietary supplements, I believe, because of COVID-19. A lot of people started saying, hey, take our supplement to help with COVID-19. And, that did not help the supplement industry at all. We're actually working with a couple of groups just to make sure we understand the information that they need. African Fly is on the up and up. So we're going to be back on there. It's just a matter of dealing with another giant faceless organization with bots and emails that suck. I'm looking at you, YouTube. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So please make sure that you check out for us for next week. We got more information coming up. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Carlos, I understand that question. We'll have to get to that next time. But yeah, thanks so much for rocking with me. We're going to go ahead and sign off. I want you guys to go ahead and get yourself a good night's sleep. Take that sleep piece seriously. And I'll see you guys next week. Maca root every morning on an empty stomach. Okay, maca root powder. Hey, is it working? Is it working? Keep note. All right, guys. Hey, I appreciate every one of you. If you haven't done so already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I am out. I look forward to seeing you next week. Peace out.